a little bit into some deeper philosophical discussions here. And that is Stoic Philosophy and Preparedness. All right, so what is the Stoic Philosophy? It is an ancient philosophy that teaches peace through internal strength. And so, what does that mean? Um, Essentially, it means the only things within your control are inside of you, meaning you have no control over the external world, but only the way you react to it. So, how does that integrate into our discussion of preparedness? Well, I mean, when we're preparing, we're essentially acknowledging the possibility of external circumstances. We're acknowledging the possibility of natural disasters. We're acknowledging the possibility of um, armed conflict or food supply disruptions, or we're acknowledging any number of external events. In fact, I would say that we are too often focused uh, in preparedness, in planning, only on the external. And therefore, we're only focused on materialistic preps. And, I have been advocating many times over the course of this channel, the content on this channel. Oh, what's the matter, pup? Um, that, there's a limit to materialistic prepping, right? Because a lot of times these preps, these guns, these ammo, or your food and water stockpiles, right? Often those aren't the things that end up needing to meet the moment in times of crisis. Because I think it's fairly obvious that on the average, the kinds of challenges or crisis circumstances we're more likely to encounter on a day-to-day basis are not these extreme, sorry, the dog wants to play. We're not focused on, it's, yes, tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, earthquakes, fires happen, and they happen regularly, right? But it's more likely that you're going to encounter some kind of interpersonal relationship dynamic crisis, either a upset spouse, partner, or child, right? Or perhaps a situation at work where there are multiple people collaborating and different personalities at play, and as well as things like death and grieving. Those kinds of events are certainly not fun to deal with. Come here, pup. Give it here. They want to play this morning. What can I do? But those kinds of events, right, are much more likely to occur on a day-to-day basis. And so, do you have a guiding philosophy or an internal rule book for helping you navigate those situations? Sorry, guys, this dog. Guys, come on here. They want to play. What can I do? Tucker, come on. Go. Right? And so, oftentimes we are left to try to figure out on our own how to manage these interpersonal conflicts, these relationship conflicts, these family conflicts, that, again, are not materialistic in nature, right? So, and I know this channel is mostly men, so, this is something that's going to really be targeted to men here. This topic here is then, that is the philosophy of Stoicism. So, the Stoic principle for men here is that you must remain in control of your emotions because that is all you can control. You cannot control external circumstances. You cannot control the death of a loved one. You cannot control when an accident happens at work and a problem must be solved. You can only control the way you react to them. And many times we are, as men, given conflicting messages about, the right and proper way to deal with these emotions. The Stoic philosophy would dictate that remaining in control of your emotions is the only way to help seek clarity and peace internally. And through this internal clarity and peace, one can finally think clearly. And that deep introspective thought must take place prior to and above all emotional type of deliberation or behavioral reaction. So, if we bring it back to basics here and we're talking about some kind of, normal SHTF where, let's say there's, for example, like the fires that just happened in Los Angeles, right? Or the hurricane and flooding in North Carolina, right? It does no use to react emotionally in the event that the news is presented to you. Meaning when you first learn about, now there's a threat to our environment, right? It's a little easier when you have some warning, when it's not so immediate, when it's... Sorry guys, the dogs this morning. I can't help. Hey, chill out. Chill out, buddy. Chill out. Little shot of his nose there. When you have time, you can think clearly, right? When the danger is on the horizon, but not imminent and right next to you, you definitely have time to react logically and without a lot of emotional, we'll call it distraction, right? Because the emotions can be a distraction to your clear thinking. But sometimes events happen out of nowhere. A life turns on a dime. One call or one text message or one email, right, is all it takes in a moment to derail your baseline level of day-to-day, feeling, existence, and emotional state and psychological state. And so it is in those situations where the Stoic philosophy and remaining in control of your emotions in order to think clearly becomes very important. And that is something that could be a tool, a philosophical tool, a psychological tool, or skill that preppers need to consider. We fool ourselves with the material preparation. We fool ourselves with the things and the stuff, okay? Not that these things aren't useful or valuable in emergency situations, but just like I say, you only have what you have on you in an emergency, right? Like your EDC is your get home kit, is your bug out kit, right? If you only have what's on your person and in your pockets in any emergency and you're not allowed to go to your car or go to your house to grab any of your other items, you're stuck with what you're stuck with. Well, that would also include your own self, your own psyche, your own psychology, your own mental state. And so, therefore, having a set of philosophical and psychological tools and the skills to know how to use them is also a valuable thing for preppers to consider. So, that's just something I wanted to discuss. I think Stoic philosophy is something that, we as men should consider, and its core tenet of remaining in emotional control in times of crisis, so you can have internal peace and clear thoughts. That's what it takes, and that's a skill and a skill set and a tool set that you can always have on you. So, hope you guys found that thoughtful, and I will see you guys later. Bye. There's a little shot of the dogs.